चलो गाइस लेट्स स्टार्ट। ठीक है। तो कल हमने अपनी ख़त्म करी थी जावास्क्रिप्ट मतलब प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज के बारे में। आज हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू मैनिपुलेट आर पर्टिकुलर द फर्स्ट थिंग वी लर्न इन जावास्क्रिप्ट दैट भाई कि वी आर गोइंग टू मेक आर website interactive. So how we are going to do that, how we are going to actually manipulate our website that we build using JavaScript. ठीक है, so this is like a till now what we have done about the till the we have learned about the JavaScript as a programming language कि भाई how to write syntax, what are the arrays in that thing, ठीक है, all those things. Now we are actually learn कि how we are actually going to what like manipulate the the website that we are going to create. ठीक है, that is we are going to learn today. सो जल्दी से कंप्लीट करते हैं आज के लेक्चर को। ज़्यादा टफ नहीं हुआ, बहुत ही सिंपल सा होगा। ठीक है, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। तो कुछ चीज़ें समझने की हैं जो कि कंसेप्ट हैं दैट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड बिफोर मूविंग फॉरवर्ड इज दैट कि भाई लेट मी शेयर माई फाइल। ठीक है, सो देखो, जो हमारा ब्राउज़र होता है ना, जो हमारा ब्राउज़र होता है वो रिप्रेजेंट करता है हमारी वेबसाइट को एज एन ऑब्जेक्ट। ऑब्जेक्ट जो हमें पढ़ा था की वैल्यू पेयर में। तो बस जो भी उसका कंटेंट होता है ना वेबसाइट का, या जो भी उसमें पर्टिकुलर फंक्शंस होते हैं, जो भी बनी होती है वेबसाइट, वो उसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है एज एन ऑब्जेक्ट। ठीक है, तो ब्राउजर के अंदर तीन चीज़ें होती हैं। ब्राउजर में तीन चीज़ें होती हैं, दैट इज डॉम, वन इज बॉम एंड वन इज जावास्क्रिप्ट। ठीक है, अब बल्कि जावास्क्रिप्ट रहने दो, अभी दो चीज़ समझो सिर्फ, दैट इज बॉम एंड डॉम। ठीक है, मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, उसका मतलब क्या कह रहा हूँ मैं कि ये भी हटाओ। ठीक है, कि every website that we are that we that like every website that is shown on to our browser, it is made up of two things. One is DOM. That particular website is made up of using the DOM and the BOM. DOM stands for document object module and BOM stands for B for browser object module. ठीक है, तो whatever the HTML we write, whatever the HTML we write, when we run this HTML in our browsers, this particular HTML is converted into a tree. This particular HTML is converted into a tree. ठीक है, is converted into a tree, something like this. ठीक है, now every node of this particular tree is known as an object, is known as an object. ठीक है, तो मतलब like they every node of this particular tree will define a div, will define a tag of that particular uh, html thing that you have written. ठीक है, so uh, like कि जैसे you created a simple html website that contain h1, ठीक है, h1, and that contains some paragraph. ठीक है, now when you show this website on a particular browser, before showing it to the your particular browser, the browser will run it and will convert this particular html into a dom tree. ठीक है, it will convert into a dom tree. How it will convert? There is a body tag, body it will create an object. These particular nodes of this dom trees are known as the dom tree, stands for document object module. ठीक है, the document particular node of this dom tree is known as an object. So like every tags or every element of this particular in this particular html will define as a single object in this dom tree. ठीक है, in this dom tree. So in simple languages, we wrote some html body, and then in this body I have one h1 tag, one paragraph tag, and then body is closed. ठीक है, this is converted into a dom tree. How dom tree? This is converted into a dom tree. This is body, and it will have two tags as we can see in this h1 tag and the p tag. Okay, so like it depends on whatever the html you are working with, so it will convert that html into a dom tree. Now why, Akshat, why we are learning this? Why that browser is creating into a dom tree? Because because Now we are going to manipulate these particular objects in our DOM tree. We are not going to manipulate our actual code. Okay, we are not going to manipulate our actual code. How we are going to create, how what we are going to manipulate these particular objects in the DOM tree. Okay, so maybe I want to change this particular element with some functionality. Okay, so what I will do, I will we are going to learn how we can do that, but I will use some syntax in the JavaScript that will help like that what will do, what it will do, that will tell our browsers कि भाई I want to manipulate this particular p object in your DOM tree and I want to change its content. Okay, so how, what we are actually doing, we are manipulating this particular node. Okay, this, when this particular node will be changed, a new DOM tree will be created, and then this DOM tree will be shown to our particular websites, whatever the website we are building. That is how we say कि when we say कि we are manipulating our DOM, JavaScript will help us to manipulate our website. This is what we are actually saying. This is actually what we are saying कि भैया we are manipulating the DOM tree using JavaScript. We will write some syntaxes in JavaScript that will help us to manipulate these particular objects that are tags only into this particular HTML. ठीक है, clear, this thing must be clear. ठीक है, so there are three things. A diagram I will show you in the PPT. A browser has, its name is also known as the window. You will like call this as a window also. See, everything in the browser will represent an object. Everything in browser will represent an object. Okay, whether it's a tag, whether it's a function, everything that you are doing in the browser is known as an object. So there is a window object that contains two things: document and the browser, like a bomb browser object module, and DOM, document object module. ठीक है, DOM we have already understood कि भैया whatever the HTML we will write, it will convert into a DOM tree, and it will convert it into a DOM tree, and then we are going to manipulate it using JavaScript. That is known as the document object module, or the DOM tree. So all the functions that we are going to use, all the syntax, all the things that we are going to learn to manipulate all these things comes under the document object module. Comes under the document object module. Sorry, it comes under the document. Okay, so like all the things we are going to use to manipulate a particular DOM object. Okay, whether we want to do something with that particular object, whether we want to change its content, whether we want to uh, show something like a pop-up thing on that particular thing when we click on this particular object. So we are basically manipulating it. So the functions that we are, the things or syntax that we are going to learn in order to manipulate these things will comes under the what document. Why document? Because why we are manipulating the document, that is being created from the HTML. So like this is a simple document. Okay, whatever the thing we write is a simple document. When we see this in a browser as a website, what we are seeing a what we are seeing actually a DOM tree. We are seeing actually a DOM tree, and we are manipulating it. Okay, so this comes under the DOM, like a document. What is browser? What is BOM, browser object module? This provides functionalities that browser provides us. What is one functionality we have learned? We have learned something known as the set interval. Sorry, set timeout. Okay, we have learned known as something known as the prompt that will allow us to take inputs. Okay, we will see something known as the alert that will show the pop-up. These properties worked on the browser, like the browser provides us. We have nothing to do with the document. Okay, we are not actually manipulating that particular thing. Like we are not manipulating a document with these things browser provides us to create something or to show something to the user. Okay, that is why our window object contains two things: document and a browser functionalities. Okay, this is like a overview of how browser actually works. we will understand. ठीक है? तो window here, you are seeing the window object. This is known as a window object. ठीक है? Also known as the root object. You can, if you are like if you will have any doubts, you can just open your mics and you can ask. ठीक है? ठीक है, okay. So like the window object consists of two things: so the document we have learned and the browser object module we have learned. JavaScript is the JavaScript we have learned, like the JavaScript that we learned, that we use array functions. It has the, like, it is also same as the two things we have learned. Okay, so nothing big. But the two main things are the DOM, document. Document is what? The code we will write in our syntax. It will be converted into a DOM tree, and with the help of the JavaScript, we are going to manipulate this DOM tree. What are the BOM? BOM stands for browser object module. It will provide this functionality like the location, screen, frames, history, all these things. Okay? Fetch request that we learned yesterday, fetch keyword that we learned yesterday. These all things browser provides us, but they all come under the a root object that is known as the window. ठीक है? ठीक है. This is the thing that I was showing you. This is the .html file that we write. ठीक है? Document gets loaded into window object. This is our window. ठीक है? This is our window. Till now we have nothing in this particular window, but as soon as we run this particular, as soon as the browser will see कि भाई HTML is there, I will convert that HTML into DOM tree, and now I will show this particular document in a document. So this is how you will see something here, window. Like the window, whatever you're seeing is the window. Okay, but now as soon as the website appears, it is a document. So we will manipulate our document as well as the windows. Okay, as well as the windows is the root object, and document is a, like a sub object for that particular window object. Okay, so HTML what we are writing will be inserted into our window object only. So as you can see in this particular window is the window object, and the document object is inserted into this window object. Okay, this is simple. This is a DOM tree we have already talked about. This is your HTML. Okay, this is your HTML that we are going to write. Now this HTML is being converted into a DOM tree, something like this. Okay, something like this. A document that we wrote, okay, that we understood. Document will contain are the whole HTML DOM tree. Okay, whole DOM tree. So it will have head. Okay, first thing it will have HTML. Then in HTML it will have two objects. One is the head and one is the body. Like the head and the body. Now in head we have something as a title, so it will contain some title. Okay, and in the body we have h1 tag and the p tag, so it will have nodes h1 and p. So what we are doing, we are going to manipulate these particular nodes in the DOM tree that will allow us to manipulate our website. Okay, that is how we are going to manipulate them. Okay, this is how we are going to manipulate. The important thing is that just remember a DOM tree is being made, and we are actually manipulating the DOM tree. Okay, we are going to look how we are going to manipulate that. Uh, ठीक है, in upcoming slides. तो browser, ठीक है. So this is your HTML, and this is being converted to a DOM tree in the browser. How browser has some functionality known as the DOM parser. ठीक है, we are not going to talk about a lot because it contains some algorithm, it contains something like a brilliant people made some algorithms or some like a step by step algorithm that will convert our HTML into a DOM tree. Okay, so there is something known as a DOM parser in our browsers that convert our HTML into a DOM tree. Okay, okay. DOM versus BOM. Document Object Module, or DOM for short, represents all page contents as an object that can be modified. Document object is the main entry point to the page. We can change or create anything on the page using it. Okay, this is what I was talking about. कि भाई we are going to change this DOM tree that will help to manipulate our website. Okay, what is BOM? Browser Object Module represent the additional objects provided by the browser host environment for working with the everything except the document. ठीक है, we will see कि भाई there are some syntax that we are going to use to manipulate a particular document that includes that all those things come under the document only, but browser provides additional functionalities like the set timeout, alert, location, fetch. We've learned yesterday कि भाई in order to create the in order to fetch data from the APIs we use fetch. So all these things browser providers that are accept the document, it will help us to do something with that particular document that we are showing on the browser. Okay, understood the difference between dom and bomb? Very important. In purpose of, like, in the interview also, they will ask you what is the difference between dom and bomb. Okay, so, like, this is the perfect definition you can see. Okay, moving on to the now moving on to the next part is, till now have you understood? If any doubts, you can ask. Okay, just remember this. I am repeating it again in a simple language, that whatever the code you will write in HTML, whatever the code you will write in HTML, it will get converted to a DOM tree, document object module. Object means कि भैया that DOM tree is being made with the help of the objects. Each and every element in that HTML is being converted to an object node into that DOM, into that tree. And how we are going to manipulate it is by manipulating the particular object nodes into the DOM tree. Okay. Now we are going to see how how actually we are going to manipulate them. So let me come back to my, let me close this. Now we have to use the code editor to understand all those things. So let me create a HTML. Okay, and let me write here DOM manipulation. Okay, DOM manipulation. Okay, now we are going to write JavaScript only. But the JavaScript today we are going to write is something different. Is something related to the the part of manipulating it. The particular manipulating the, till now what we were writing is a JavaScript programming language. Okay? But today what we are going to write is the syntax that will help us to manipulate the document, or the particular HTML document that we're talking about. Okay? So in order to use this index.js file in our HTML, what we have to do is we have to include, or we have to connect this HTML file to the JS file. Then only we will going to manipulate it, right? So how we are going to do that? We are going to do that with the help of the script tag. So script tag help us to include or to connect our HTML file to the index.js file or the JavaScript file. Okay? So what we will write? We write script src and then index, whatever the file name is made, index.js. Okay, this is how we are going to write. Now whatever the JavaScript we will write, it will be whatever the manipulations that we will do in this particular document, like, in simple terms, it is just connected with the particular index.js file. So if I do console.log working, okay, and if I click here and go live, what you are seeing, you are seeing on the, you are seeing working here. Okay, so this is how we can check कि whether भैया कि this particular element HTML has been connected with a particular index or not. Okay, so this is how you can check. Okay, let's start learning how we can manipulate our document. Okay, first thing is the selecting elements. Let me tell you what does that mean, selecting element. Let me create a div here. Okay, and let me give a id we all like we all discussed it earlier, before only ki bhai id we have to give two elements so that we can uniquely identify these particular elements. Okay, so let me give id to this particular thing is as data. Okay, I have given this particular div id a data. Okay, this is a normal div. Okay, now Now imagine this particular HTML, it is being converted into a DOM. Okay? If I show you, like, how can I show you? Just remember this particular HTML is being converted into a DOM. Okay? And something body is coming first. Then and under body there are two objects. One is the h1 object and second is the div object. Okay? Now second thing is to, we have to manipulate are these particular objects. In order to manipulate these particular objects, first we have to select them, right? That is why that after that only that we are going to manipulate them. So first we have to select those particular element that we are going to manipulate. So in this case, that is why we always have to give IDs to the particular divs, so that we can uniquely identify कि भाई I want this particular div to be manipulated. So how can I uniquely identify? I can uniquely identify with the help of the ID. ठीक है? So the this page suggests in this selecting elements. How you can select the elements? You can select the elements with the help of document.get elemented by id. Let's do that. I write a dot constant data, and I will write document dot get element by id. And I will what I will write here, I will write here the id name. Okay, the particular id name. So I, in this particular thing, I have given the name data, so I will write data here. Okay, now I have selected this particular element. Okay, I have selected this particular element in order to show कि whether भैया I have selected this particular node of the DOM tree. I will console it. Let's see कि भाई what is this giving. So as you can see, this is giving me this, what it is saying. It is saying the dev with the data ID. So what we are going to manipulate? We are going to manipulate this particular node of the DOM tree. Okay, we are going to manipulate this particular node of the DOM tree. Okay, so like I can do something data dot inner text is equal to there is data in this. Okay, so you can see कि भैया how is this coming? How is this coming? Because we have manipulated this particular objects. Per Akshat, this is empty. There is no there is like uh, there is no text in this particular div. Then how it is coming on our website? This is what we have done right now. We have selected this particular element and we have inserted a text into this particular object, into this particular node of the DOM tree. So we are basically manipulating our DOM tree. And now, as we can see, this particular thing. So if I see you, like if I show you the HTML, how it looks. DOM manipulation, then there is div with ID name data, and there you can see there is data in it. Okay, there is data in it. So this is how we have manipulated it. If I do refresh, if I do refresh, you will see again that we have something known ID data, and now there is data in it. But we can't see the data in our index.html. Why? Because browser is actually manipulating that. Okay, browser is actually manipulating that. It is not our original HTML that we are manipulating. Okay, this is what we're talking about, the manipulating our document. Okay, so abhi for this now, don't think what is this dot inner text. We will learn abhi later what does that mean. But to manipulate something, to manipulate a particular element, we have to select it. And select, how we can do it? We can do it by using this document कि भैया whatever the document we have created, get element, get that particular element by id, and we can do this by id. Okay, now we have other method also. We can use document.query selector. Okay, query selector is कि भैया what if I give a class name, class, and I will give something data class. Okay, so I can select it. Like there are multiple ways to select this particular thing. So what I will write data class, or like I can give this particular name. What I will write document.query selector, query selector, and I will give the data class. Okay, but for whenever we remember, whenever we are selecting a class by the class. Okay, whenever we are selecting an element by the class, we have to always include the dot here. Okay, we have to always include the dot here. So if I show you, you can see in console, it is not coming. Why? Data class. No, it is not coming. I think because of ID. Oh, because I think we have already. Sorry, because we are not consoling it right. How stupid of me. We have to console now. We have to spot check. So now, as you can see, now we are having a that particular div. It is showing. Okay, as simple as that. In order to, but see, learn only one thing while selecting elements. Learn only one thing. Learn only, like, most of the time you will see people, they are selecting the elements with the help of the id. So I give id. Always remember, whenever we want to manipulate the particular element using javascript, use id. And whenever we want to style this particular element, use class. Okay, use class for this particular element to style. Okay, so we are going to learn this with the help of id. Okay, so like query selector, select the first element that matches the specified css selector. There is something known as the document dot get elemented by tag name. You can also select this by tag name. So if I write here div, if I write here document dot get element by tag name, and if I give here div, so I can, now I'm getting the div also. So like it returns the, like, what it return, it returns the html collection. So like, as you can see here, it is returning the div dot data. Okay, so this is what we can do, but I do it with id only. So get elemented by id and the particular id name. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, any confusions? Okay, if you are having confusions, just open your mic and you can ask your doubts. Okay, manipulating element content. Now we are going to learn कि भैया what I was doing dot inner text or inner html. ठीक है, so we have selected this particular element. Now we have to manipulate it. Like, manipulate means कि we have to change something in this particular element. But what if I want to add some content in that? So what we have done, manipulating the element content. ठीक है, so element dot inner html, so data dot inner html, and this is a div tag. If I save this and if I go back, you will see this is a div tag coming. Why? If I go in elements, you will see you will see a div. You will see in this particular div element with the id data, there is div, this tag is coming. But if I go back to my index.html, this is empty, right? Because we are doing something inner.html. Inner.html will help you to append the content into that particular element. Okay, okay, this is what manipulating it. We have something known as the element.inner text. Same as the inner.html, no difference. If I do inner text, inner text, this will always, this is also do the same thing. Okay, this is also do the same thing, as you can see here. Okay, no difference between these. Okay, element dot text content gets or sets the content element of including all hidden text. Okay, they all work the same. Like, if I do the text content, they all do the same thing. Okay, they all do the same thing. You just have to go with one thing. I always use the dot inner text. So what they do, they will add a inner text. What if bhaiya ki there is already written something here, ki something akshat is written here, and now कि will it show this is div tag or will it show akshat? So it will show this is a div tag. ठीक है, this is a div tag. Why? Because we are manipulating it. So if I refresh this, it is, we are, see for a second it is showing you akshat. ठीक है, it is showing you akshat for a second, but as soon as the browser loads this html, he sees, the browser sees कि भैया uh, we are manipulating it, so it changed that particular thing to a this is a div tag. ठीक है, so uh, whatever you will use here, it will see that. ठीक है, it will show that. ठीक है, as simple as that. Let's move on to the second thing, manipulating the element attributes. What attribute we are saying here? Where the particular attribute it has is data. Okay, now we saw, first selecting our element. Second, we saw कि भैया how to add content or how to add particular content to our particular element by using the dot inner text or inner html. Now we are using कि भैया how to manipulate our attributes. Attributes means these id or the things. So get elemented, get attribute gets the value of an attribute. ठीक है, so imagine right now, if I have if I have something in this particular data, and if I do, let me add this also, many manipulating the the content. Okay, this is a method of manipulating. Now we are learning manipulating the attribute. Attribute. Okay, so how we are going to do that? This particular thing says कि भैया element dot get attribute name gets the value of an attribute. ठीक है, so let's do what thing it is saying. Element data means this data, the particular element we have selected. ठीक है, data dot get attribute, and here we have to pass the attribute name. ठीक है, now if I do console dot log, if I do the value, what it will give me? Let me check. It has given me data. Why? Because I have written data, and now what I am doing here in this like in this particular thing, data is in there. ठीक है, and what I am doing here, I am, this particular thing says कि भैया give me the value of give me the value of the particular element that has an attribute id. ठीक है, that has attribute id, so it will give you the particular value. ठीक है, as simple as that. So I am getting the data here. ठीक है, second thing is the element dot set attribute name and the value. Now we have learned कि भाई if we want particular if we want the particular value from the attribute, how we can set a particular new attribute to a particular element tag. ठीक है, so what we are doing do we will do data dot set attribute. We are going to give the attribute name as the class, and the what value as the, what should I give, data class. ठीक है, so you will understand what actually happens is. ठीक है, if I go back, if I in the console.log, what you are seeing here, see in this particular div tag, if I zoom this, okay, like if I can show you, in this particular div tag there was id data. ठीक है, that was previously there, but I have used something set attribute. Set attribute what? Set attribute class कि भैया एक class add कर दो as an attribute in that particular element with the name data class. So what it has done, it has added this particular class with the name of data class. ठीक है, as simple as that. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, this is what it do. Set attribute element dot remove attribute, भैया it will remove that कि भैया data dot remove attribute, and it will remove that attribute. So if I write class, ठीक है, so it will remove the attribute. Now if you go back, you will see कि भाई id, now there is no classes coming. Why? Because I have removed the attribute. The most important one was कि भाई getting the value from this particular attribute. How we get that? Data dot get attribute and id. It will give us the value, whatever the element value it has. ठीक है, as simple as that. Any doubts still here? ठीक है, this is simple, very simple concept. Manipulating, yeah, I think this is the here it will say, yeah, manipulating element styles instead of attributes. Just correct this, instead of attributes it will have a style. Manipulating element styles, which means कि भाई now we are learning how to add styles to that particular element. So manipulating the element styles. ठीक है, how we can do that? We can do that something element dot style dot property name. So if I do something data dot style dot, if I do color and if I do red, ठीक है, if I do red and if I save this, what you will see that the data is whatever data is in that particular thing, it has converted to red color. ठीक है, and now if you see in the particular console, what you're seeing here, in this particular element a style attribute has came with the color red. ठीक है, as simple as that. In the same way, I can add a background to this particular thing. Data dot style dot background color. The background, what I can write? I can write here something as the yellow. ठीक है, so as you can see now the yellow background has come. So we are manipulating it. We are manipulating it without actually writing the HTML we are manipulating it with the help of JavaScript. ठीक है, this is what it is. ठीक है, this is the same as thing the class list थी, element dot class list dot add will add a just like add a class name. ठीक है, it will this thing set attribute, and the class list dot add or the class list dot remove will do the same thing, no difference. But the most important property is to style. What else I can do is I can add a style or the border. What I can write, 2 pixels, solid black, so it will add a border in it. So as you can see, a border came, okay, with the 2 pixels and the black color. So this is about styling. This is about styling. ठीक है, till now what we've done, we done कि भैया first in order to manipulate the particular elements we have to select the element. How we are going to do that? Either we can do that with the help of id or with the class name. Then if we want to if we want to change the content, we can do the content. ठीक है, then we learn about the attributes, then we learn about the styles. Keep remember this is styles here, not attributes. Then we learn about the style, how we can add the style to a particular property. Next thing is the important, uh, that is how we can add a event handling. What is event handling? Let's learn. Event handling. ठीक है, the particular thing means is that I want to add an event listener onto that particular element. Event listeners means कि भाई if someone click on that particular element, I want to show it something. ठीक है, as simple as that. I want to add an event. Event means कि something happening to that particular element. कि a user comes, and if I add an event known as click on that particular element, so whomsoever person will click that element, I can show him something. So how we do that? With the help of the event listeners. Event, this is known as the event handling. So we add the event to the particular what? To the particular element. How we do that? Data dot add event listeners. Now we have different type of event listeners that are already defined. Something we have known as click, mouse over, key down, focus. There are so many. Like if you do, if you will see, there are so many event listeners that you can always choose. Okay, so like if we choose the click event listener, now we have to create a function, and I will do console. This is how we write event listeners. ठीक है, this clicked. ठीक है, let's see. If I go on this particular element, data is written. ठीक है, and if I click this, you can see clicked came. ठीक है, again click this, again click this. So what we are doing, we are adding an event on this particular element. ठीक है, what event we are adding? We are adding an event known as an click. कि भाई something, if person clicks, I will perform this particular function. ठीक है, as simple as that. This is known as the event handling. What others event? There are thousands of events. ठीक है, but the most important is the click one. What other event we can use is something known as the mouse over. Let's see कि भाई mouse over क्या होता है. Mouse, mouse big, see mouse down, mouse enter, mouse leave. So we will use mouse over. ठीक है, and I will write here alert mouse over work. ठीक है, so भैया how this works is कि whenever this mouse I will take this on this particular element, it will show me an alert. So as you can see, an alert came. ठीक है, again I will show you. Mouse over means कि भैया whenever the particular mouse you will take this to particular element, it will show you this pop-up. See, alert I am using is a bomb. What is a bomb? The browser object module. ठीक है, it is a browser. ठीक है, so it gave me an alert means a pop-up kind of thing. ठीक है, कि mouse over worked. ठीक है, as simple as that. What other events can I listen? I can some these are the mouse, so as I can, there are so many events. ठीक है, but the most important event is the click that we are going to use. Something known as the key down. So if I write here key down, so it will say कि भैया you click the your arrow buttons on the keyboard. Arrow buttons. ठीक है, let's see whether it will work or not. ठीक है, I am pressing my arrow, but it is not working. Why is it is not working? Because I am not manipulating now. See, now I am not manipulating it. Now I am not manipulating the particular element. That is why it is not showing you anything in the console. I am clicking it. I am clicking my arrow right now, but it is not showing you. So what we are doing? We are manipulating the DOM. Okay, so we have to write document. We are manipulating the document, not the particular element. So if I now if I press my arrow key down, it is working or not? It is not working. Why is that? Okay, sorry, I have to first define the event here also. Event, let me show how it. Key down function console.log key pressed event dot key. ठीक है let's hide this. Console.log event e dot event dot key. Like this is something we have to write in order to use this. ठीक है. Now if I press down button, why it is not working? Document dot keys. I don't know why it is not working. It was working before. Yeah, now it is working. As you can see in the console, it is working. I am pressing my down button, but it is now working. Why? Because we are manipulating the whole object. We are manipulating the whole object. Now if I'm pressing my 0, so it is seeing 0. Now if I pressing my 8 5, now this is all what I am pressing. So this will help us to this will help us to manipulate. We are manipulating the document. So that is why we have used the document here. Okay, this is what events we can use. Okay, as simple as that. We can use something focus that will help us to focus that particular element on the input tag. We are going to use that. Don't worry. Because the most important event is the click event that will help us to whenever we will want something कि भाई if someone click this particular element, we are going to use this particular event listener known as the click. ठीक है, and we will show him something. ठीक है. Second is the creating and inserting element. Till now we have learned कि भाई how to manipulate the content, how to manipulate the attributes. But now what if we want to create an element, a new div element? How we can do is we can do this with the help of, let me add here, creating a new element. ठीक है, element. How we can do this is const new div something we can write here, and what we will write document. Why document? Because again we are not we are not particularly manipulating a particular element. We are eliminating the whole document. So we have document dot element create element. And what element do I want? I want something div, a particular div element. So I will write here div, and then I will append this. Now I have created this div, I have created this new div element. Okay, but now I have to append this particular new div element into my document. Okay, how will I do this? There is another method known as the append child. So how will I do this? Document dot body. Why body? Because this is what we are eliminating, right? This is what we are eliminating. So we have to write document, this whole document dot body, and then we will write dot append child, and then we will write new div. Okay. So if I go back, you are not seeing anything here. Why? Because the particular element is empty. But if I go into the particular what if I go into particular uh, console, then you are seeing here div data, and below script a new div is created. Okay, a new div is created that is empty. How we can add something to it? We can add something to it with the help of new div dot inner text, and this is a new div, as simple as that. ठीक है. Now as you can see there is a new div coming. ठीक है. And in the particular DOM tree also it is showing there is a new div. ठीक है. As the same manner we can remove child dot parent dot remove child, and we can remove the child. ठीक है. This is all about what we are manipulating. This is all about the manipulating. We have first learned ki bhai how we are going to select the elements. Second, how we are going to select manipulate the content of our HTML. Third, how we can manipulate the attributes. Fourth, how we can manipulate the styles, how we can add these styles. ठीक है. Event handling we have learned, and the creating and inserting new elements. Creating means document dot create and insert by using dot append child. ठीक है. This is all about the what manipulating our document object module. Any doubts in this till now? What we have learned? You can ask. Any doubt you have, you can ask. Any doubts, guys? ठीक है. दिव्यांशी, any doubt?
How we will select the element having the same class name. Well, the multiple elements are having the same class name, and we want to select a particular element.
ठीक
So,
है, ठीक
how
है.
we are going to select that?
Okay, okay, yeah. ठीक है, ठीक है. Good question. See, how we are going to do that? You can give a particular. See, the first thing is, if you are using the element, you have to give like, you should give a element a unique like a unique attribute. But what you can do is, you can create like a map. Let me show you. What I can do is, I can create data and that d1, and I can here data dot d1 and d2. ठीक है. This is how you have to do. If you are using a particular element, and now if you want to manipulate this is how you have to give. Now this particular element have two data, like data and the d1. Now either you can select this particular element with the d1, or either you can select this particular element with the data only. ठीक है. Understood? Like, if you get the
Okay.
point. कि either we can we can like either we can select this element with the data. ठीक है. But now you have said कि भैया, what if we want to give this particular all the elements as data only? So we have to give another name that is known as the d1. ठीक है. So you can do this, ठीक है. You can do this. Now you have to get d1 d2, and now you can select this particular element. This is how you can do. Understood? ठीक है. This is how you can do. And I think there are another method also, like there is like there is something known as like if I have shown you na ki it will give you an array, then you can select this array. Let me show how to select a particular div that has same IDs. Let me see कि what select div same item, like this particular thing, it has ID item. This particular has item, and I want to select the second div with the item. How you do that? So what is saying that कि भाई yeah, see, as simple as that. So what it is saying कि भैया, you what you can do is, let me show you with the this only data. ठीक है. data bar. ठीक है. Let me go to index, and let me what I can do is, I can get elemented by tag name. ठीक है. Data. Now what will I get in my console? If like I'm not consoling it, console.log data. Now what I'm getting in a console? By tag name. Sorry, by tag name we have to select the div. ठीक है. Now what we are getting in a console? We are getting in a console two divs. ठीक है. Div data, div what, div 0 and 1. Now now what if I want to select only zeros element? So what I can do is, I can do 0. So now I will get only the zeroth div. ठीक है. In the same way I can do the 1. So I will get only the one, like a first index div. ठीक है. This is how it is saying कि भैया, you do something element, and then you get elemented by div tag with the index also. ठीक है. This is how is something. ठीक है. This is another method that you can do. but I don't want to take you because this is complicated. Yeah, like you won't remember this, believe me. Okay, you won't remember this. The simplest thing is कि भाई, if you are writing something and if you have the same attribute name, either give it a second name also, like D1, or and then D2, or either you give a unique name. ठीक है, ठीक है, okay, as simple as that. ठीक है, good question it was. I think it is solved. uh, ठीक है. Important topics for interviews is the number, strings, array method, asynchronous JS, promises, async await, hosting closures, working with the API, fetch, function, JSON object, and DOM manipulation. This is the thing what we have done. ठीक है, ठीक है. This is the most important interviews टॉपिक्स फॉर द इंटरव्यूज. वो मर्जी है कि आपकी आप इन सबको एक्चुअल वर्ल्ड में यूज करते हो नहीं करते, बट वेन एवर यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ इंटरव्यू, जस्ट इन द जावास्क्रिप्ट, इन पर्टिकुलर जावास्क्रिप्ट, जस्ट रिवाइज ऑल दोज थिंग्स एंड यू आर गुड टू गो. ठीक है, लेट्स क्रिएट समथिंग. योर चॉइस, what should we build? A to do application or a OTP validation, or what you choose? Just tell me fast so that like it's 5 minutes left. We can create these in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Should we create this? Should we create something with the things, whatever the things we have learned about the DOM manipulation, OTP validation, or to do application? To do application, I think will take some 15 to 20 minutes time, but OTP validation we can build within 5 or 10 minutes. What do you choose? What do you say? Or tell me something you
OTP
will.
validation.
Huh? OTP validation.
OTP validation.
Yeah, ठीक है, okay,
Yes.
मुझे. Okay, okay, ठीक है. To do, okay, to do I will also teach you, but let's create a OTP validation. Okay, ठीक है. So what thing we want? Let me let me create a new, so that all the things will not remove. Let me create a new folder. OTP validation. Uh, in this particular concept, you will also learn some local storage thing. Okay, what is local storage? What is session storage? Let me create a new file, index.html. We can create index.js. ठीक है, HTML. I'm doing this very fast because this is like a noob thing. OTP, H1 tag, OTP validation. Okay. Now we have to add our script. So we will write. We have to connect a JS file. So we will write script.src, and then we will write index.js and the script tag. Okay. Uh, One thing also that, let me close this. Let me close this. You can also write your JavaScript whole here in this script tag. You can also write your JavaScript, but it is always suggested that you create a different file and you write here. Okay. Let me check whether it is working or not. Working. Let me open it. ठीक है, it is working. Yeah, it is working. ठीक है. So what two things we know? What two things we want? A particular two buttons we want is, first button is कि भाई clicking on the send OTP will send us the OTP, but of course we are not going to send it on mobile number, that because that is a, like, that is a different logic. But here we are learning the things. So uh, on clicking on the send OTP button, it will send us the OTP, and then OTP we are going to verify that OTP whether the OTP test created is correct or wrong. Okay, this is the two things we want, right? Just give me yes. कि OTP generation and then OTP verification. Two things we have to do. ठीक है? Yeah. Okay. ठीक है. Let's do. Let me close this. So first thing we have to, let me create a div here. Div, and in here let me create an input box. ठीक है, input type number, and there placeholder something like enter the OTP, and then I will give a ID as the OTP. ठीक है, okay. Then we are going to create a button here. ठीक है, button as one OTP send OTP. ठीक है, and the second button is the what? A verify button. Verify OTP. ठीक है भैया. ID, let me give an ID as send, and let me give an ID as verify. ठीक है, as simple as that. Okay, now, okay, ठीक है, now all we have to do is the write our index. ठीक है, what we have to do is first we have to add a click event listener onto this particular send button. ठीक है, okay, let's do this. So how we are going to do this? We are first select that particular element. We are going to what we are going to do? We are going to first select this particular element. So what we are going to do const send document dot get element by id, and what id we are going to pass here as the send. ठीक है भैया, हमने send भेज दिया. ठीक है, now we have selected this particular element. Now I want to add an event listener to this particular element. What event listener? Click event. So send dot add event listener click and the function. ठीक है, console dot log clicking. Let's check on send OTP button. Yeah, it is working. ठीक है, clicking. ठीक है, now what we have to do is we have to generate an OTP. If you've done the assignments, then you already know okay, how we are going to do that. So we are going to use all the things we have learned, the math methods, the number methods that we got. So constant value. Yeah, if you have any doubts, you can open your mic and just say it. Constant value, and then what we can do is math dot random. It will generate a random value between 0 to 1. Okay, if I do console dot log value, so it will generate a, on clicking the send OTP, it is generating a random value. But I want particular these four numbers only. Okay, so what I will do, I will multiply it with 1000. Okay, I will multiply it 1000. Now what it will give me on send OTP button, it will give me 508. Why it is giving 508? Why it is giving me 508? Let me click on. Yeah, now it is giving me. Let me refresh this. Now it is giving me 6083, but I don't want like the after this. Okay, so what next thing we have to do is we have to use the something known as we already learned OTP. OTP uh, OTP is the value dot to fixed, and I have told you if you will write here 0, so it will give you, let me console it also, console.log OTP. OTP, now it will give me send OTP 728 Now it has given me the particular OTP. If I write here 1, so it will give me it, what it will give me, it will give me something after like one digit after the point. Okay, but if I write here 0, so it will give me one digit after the click on send OTP, then 4686. Now okay, now what we want is कि भाई as soon as we click on send OTP, this particular thing will come it should come onto our document कि भाई your OTP number is this. ठीक है, how we are going to do that? We already learned that we have to create a particular div element. ठीक है, we have to create a particular div element. ठीक है, and then we have to insert that particular element into our document. We have already learned that. Let's do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that constant parent div document dot create element, and what element we want? A div tag. ठीक है, what else we want? कि भाई we want a constant child div, and again I want to create a document dot create element, and I want this to be a what? A p tag. ठीक है, let's say a p tag. ठीक है, now how like see, I want something like this कि भैया this should come as div then a p tag कि OTP your OTP is this. ठीक है, like it should come like as soon as I will click on send OTP, or something like this come, your OTP is this. This is what I am this is what I am saying. So what should I do? I should use something. I will have to create something div tag, and then in that div tag I have to append this particular parent child, the p tag. That is why I have created two elements, a div tag and a p tag. what I will do, I will do parent. Now in child tag we have to append that particular OTP. Okay, so child div dot inner text, and what we will write here, your your OTP is plus the OTP. ठीक है, as simple as that. Now we have to append this particular child tag to the parent tag. So parent div dot append child, and now we will append this particular child. Now we have to also append this particular parent child into a document. Okay, right now it is not in a document. So what we will do, we'll do something document dot body. Okay, dot append child, and I will append this particular child parent div to the particular document. Okay, let me remove this here from here. ठीक है, let's check this. So if I click this on send OTP, you are seeing your OTP is 1326. If I click it on again, you will see your OTP is 352. Again, every time it is giving me a unique OTP. ठीक है, every time it is giving me a unique OTP. ठीक है, understood till now? Any doubts till now? You can ask. ठीक है, ठीक है. So let me just tell you again within a minute what we are doing here on this particular click event. We are first creating a random OTP. Then we are creating two elements, div and the parent, and then we are appending the particular text into this child, and we are appending this child into the parent div, and then we are appending the parent div into our document. Okay, that is why it is showing us the on the OTP. Now what we have to do is we have to verify कि भाई whenever we write here, whatever the OTP we will write here, if I click on the verify OTP, it should say कि भैया whether the OTP is correct or not. So how we are going to do that? We are going to do that with the help of event listener again. So what I have to do, I have to write, I have to ID verify. Okay, let me make it slow. So constant, I have to first select it, verify, then document dot get element by ID. And what was the ID name? ID name was the verify. ठीक है, verify was the ID name. Now I want to add an event listener on this particular verify dot add event listener. Again, I want to, what event I want to use, I want to use the click event and the function. Okay, whatever the function we are going to use on this particular event, and this particular event is click. Let's check whether it is working or not. Click. Let's check whether it is working or not. Yeah, it is working, right? It is working. So now what we want to do? ठीक है. Now the concept came here is that whatever the OTP we are generating, we have to save this somewhere. ठीक है. Right now we are not using the database. ठीक है. Uh, in backend we are going to use databases where we will store our data. But right now we have something known as the local storage or the session storage in our browsers. ठीक है. If I show you, if you go on this application thing, if you go on this application thing, हो जाओ ऊपर. ठीक है, on this particular application thing, you see here three things: local storage, session storage, index db, cookies we are going to talk about later. Index db we are going to talk later. But local storage and session storage, what do? They will add, like they are the browser storage. They will allow you to add data, like a small pieces of data. I'm not talking about a whole, like a big data in this. I'm talking about a small storage data. So like we can, what we will do here, we will save our particular OTP into our local storage, okay, or into our session storage. And then what we are going to do is we can verify that particular OTP, whether the particular OTP that is stored in the session storage is correct or not. Is like, if they are equal, then then it is correct, and if it is not, then it is wrong. So how we can do that? In this particular function, what we have to do is we have to, after generating the OTP, okay, after generating the OTP, we have to do something, session storage dot set item. Okay, set item. What it will do, it will add the particular OTP into the session storage. How we do that? uh, OTP and then the OTP. Okay, this is how we add the OTP. What it do is it will add a OTP with the name OTP or whatever the name we will give here, and it will add the particular OTP that is generated. So what now? If I click on the send OTP button, you will see on this particular session storage a OTP has came with the particular OTP that is being generated. Okay, 1404. Okay, now by checking this particular thing, what we are going to do is we have to first again we have to also select this element. Okay, also select this element. So value, or let me check, document dot get element by id. What is the id name in this particular element tag? OTP. So we have OTP. Now what we are going to do is, here, let me delete this also because we will do that. What we have, what we have to do that, let me generate it. So send OTP. As soon as I click a send OTP button, it has generated me a OTP, and it has saved that OTP into my session storage. Okay, with the OTP, with the name OTP and the particular value of that OTP. Now whatever the thing I will write here, it will check, we will check कि by the thing I have write here, whether the particular OTP is correct or not. Okay, so now what we will do कि भाई so if I write here now how to get the particular value, whatever the value we will write in our input box. With the help of this, I have selected this particular input element by using this document.get elemented by id. Now I have to get the value. So const value, let me add a new value and check dot value. ठीक है, this is how we are able to get the particular value in this particular OTP button. OTP, whatever the number we will write here. ठीक है, now we will write the condition, and we will get the OTP also, the particular OTP that is being saved in our session storage. How we are going to do that? With the session storage dot get item. ठीक है, so I will write here the name of the item. So what is the name of our item? The name of our item is OTP. Okay. Now uh, we will get the item, and now we will use the if condition. If new value, whatever the value we have written in our input box, matches the OTP that is being stored in our particular session storage. If this particular value is correct, then give me an alert कि भाई your OTP is correct. ठीक है, else give me alert OTP is wrong. ठीक है, any doubts guys in this whole particular code? Any doubts? ठीक है, now let's check whether this will work or not. ठीक है, let me refresh this. ठीक है, let me delete this particular OTP as well. See, whatever the OTP that is being stored here, on refreshing the page, it will not get removed. Okay, it will not get removed. Only when it will get removed only when you will close this window. Okay, or only when will you close your browser. Okay, okay. Send OTP. We have send the OTP 8427. Let's write in our input box 8427. Let's click on verify. Let's see whether it will verify or not. Verify. OTP is correct. Yes, it has OTP is correct. Now let's check key. Write something else. 1426. Okay? And let's click on verify OTP. OTP is wrong. Okay? Now it is getting OTP is wrong. Okay? If I do on send OTP again, a new OTP is being generated in our particular session storage. Now if I write here 8144 verify OTP, OTP is correct. Yes, OTP is correct. If I now if the input box is empty, if I click on verify OTP, it will say OTP is wrong. But in real thing, what we want is कि भैया it should say कि भैया please write the OTP. So what we can do is, before doing this, we can check if new value. Let me first paste. If new value is empty, ठीक है, is null. So what we can alert, please enter the OTP. ठीक है, this is what we can do. Let's check verify OTP. It will say please enter the OTP. Now we can what send OTP 2146 2146. If I click on verify OTP, OTP is correct. Okay guys, any doubt you can ask me. If you have any doubts you can ask me. This is the code we have written. So what we have learned all the things that we talked about while manipulating. We have learned how to select these elements, then we have learned how to create the particular div and append those div in that document. Then we have then we have done something mathematics also while creating a random OTP. Then we learned something known as the session storage also. Okay, there is one so there is one more storage known as the local storage, but the difference between local storage and the session storage is that if you save this OTP in the local storage, even when if you close this browser or if you will come back after 2 days, 3 days, your particular OTP will be stored in this particular storage only. Okay, it will not be removed. But if you use session storage, what it will if you close this window and if you reopen this, it will get removed. That is the only difference between session storage and local storage. Okay, you can use any one of those. Okay, let's check this again. Send OTP, give me a new OTP 6566586654. Verify OTP. OTP is wrong. Okay guys, it is working. What is the OTP? 6658. Click on send OTP. Oh, array, I have sent the new OTP 6600. Verify OTP. Your OTP is correct. Okay, I think we are done. We are done. Uh, Try to create a to do application and then like this is also same. Okay, yeah. Okay guys, this is the end of the JavaScript. From the next week we are going to start React JS. And now there is one project I will you will get a a different module with the name with the name as the project. And there you will see the you will get a video. In that particular video you will get a project. Like I will create a project and then you can watch that video and you can create a project. So we what I'm thinking is, what project should I create? You tell me and I will create that. Should we create a something known as quiz application? And that particular project will have like all the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like it will be a full-fledged working website. So what should we create? A quiz application, or is there something I have in my mind? A particular sorting algorithm. So a particular sorting algorithm that's that uses the bubble sort or the particular sorting algorithm in the JavaScript. And it will show you on the front end कि भाई that particular thing is sorting your bars. Like the just search it on Google, like the sorting visualizer. This is something we can create. कि भाई this is the your front end, and clicking on new generate array, it will generate a new array. And then if I click on selection sort, it will sort this particular array into an increasing or decreasing order. This is one we can create. Or we can create a to do, like we can create a quiz application where you will get the quiz and you will solve that quiz, and then submitting on the answer you will get your scores. So tell me what we can build, and I will build that particular thing only. Sorting visualizer. ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ओके ओके ठीक है ठीक है maybe I will create both. But that will be the project including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whole thing. And it will be a good project that will include all the functionalities we have learned till now. And it will also include the uh, something more also. ठीक है. So like if I create a sorting visualizer, so basically they will create a graph also, like how you can create a graph in JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, we can do that. And you can include those in your resumes also. Okay, so you can go, and we will from next week we are going to create the we are going to learn the React.js. Okay guys, till then, bye bye, good day.